20 bewildering caves to explore. Here's some of the most visited caves in the world. Caves that look stunning, take your breath away, and make you wonder at how such sites could be initially hidden from the world.
Wacky Universe here. Welcome to Talltanic. Let's get on with the show.
20. The Waitomo Caves. We first journeyed to the North Island in New Zealand, where many tourists seeking fantastical sights come to visit the Waitomo Caves, a place also famous for its glowworm caves. The glowworms that cling to the cave walls can be found exclusively in New Zealand. You will find no shortage of organized tours that take tourists through this tunnel on the underground river where everything glows a green-blue in the dark. All the volcanic and other geological activity in the area has created over 300 limestone caves that we know of, a process that's been going on for the past 30 million years. 19. The Cave of Crystals. It sounds like you'd be exploring a cave from a high fantasy novel, but rest assured, the Cave of Crystals is real, and you can find it in the Nika Mine in Chihuahua, Mexico. It spans a length of 89 feet or 27 meters at a depth of 980 feet or 300 meters. One of the main attractions consists of these huge selenite crystals, some of the largest natural crystals ever discovered. To walk through the cave, you'd need extremely protective gear because, without it, you could only take about 10 minutes of exposure. 18. The Doong Cave. Within one of the most frequently visited caves in Vietnam, you'll also come across a fast-flowing subterranean river. By volume, Doong Cave counts as the largest cave passage ever discovered. It spans over 3.1 miles or 5 kilometers long, with its highest point at 660 feet or 200 meters, and its widest at 490 feet or 150 meters. This solutional cave sits between both Laos and Vietnam. Guided tours started in 2013, with the cost coming up to $3,000 each. After the summer, it can be difficult to access the caves since heavy rains cause the river to rise. 17. Batu Caves. We travel a little further south to Malaysia, to the location of the Batu Caves, found beside the Stone River. The Batu Caves consist of a series of caves beneath a limestone hill, next to the village of the same name. By the mid-19th century, Chinese settlers excavated guano from the limestone hills to use as fertilizers to grow their vegetables. But the history of the limestone caves go beyond nearly 2 centuries ago, with the caves said to have formed some 400 million years ago. The caves also house temples, with the biggest being the Cathedral Cave, where you need to climb a flight of 272 concrete steps in order to reach it. 16. Cave of the Swallows. In Spanish, this cave in San Luis Potosí, Mexico, is called Sótano de las Golondrinas, or the Cave of the Swallows. To get to the floor cave, it's just a free fall of 1,092 feet, or 333 meters down at the lowest side, and 1,214 feet, or 370 meters at the highest. With these numbers, it makes the cave the 11th deepest pit in the world. It seemed to have formed during the Middle Cretaceous age. Thousands of swallows call this popular base jumping site home as well. The cave was discovered in 1966 and has been a popular destination for vertical caving since. 15. Berto Princesa. About 50 miles or 80 kilometers north of the city of Puerto Princesa, Philippines, you'll find the Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park. Located in the St. Paul mountain range, this protected area comprises of a limestone karst mountain landscape. In 2012, it was voted one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Equipped with hard helmets and a boat, tourists take a ride through the underground river called St. Paul's Underground River Cave, which measures to 15 miles or 24 kilometers long. As a tourist, you can't go too far though, because the deeper you go, the less oxygen available. 14. The Cango Caves. South Africa has one of the most best-known tourist caves that consist of a lot of human history. The Cango Caves of the Western Cape Province draws in a lot of tourists every year, where they can experience not only a standard tour, but an adventure tour as well. The caves, made of Precambrian limestone, crawl out at over 2.5 miles or 4 kilometers long through a series of tunnels and chambers. Yet just a portion of the caves remains open to visitors, whom can only go through the cave with the supervision of a guide. 13. The Blue Grotto. Our next cave can be seen from the coast of Capri, an island in southern Italy. Instead of amazing depths or the tall cavernous walls, the main drawing point of the Blue Grotto comes from the ethereal glowing blue waters of the underwater cavity, wherein just a spot of light peeks through the opening. The cave waters reach about 490 feet or 150 meters deep. while the cave itself measures to 16 meters long and 25 meters wide. Tourists often paddle through the grotto with rowboats, and while dark, the location also proves prime for people to take lots of photographs. 12. Caves of Sonora. About 100 million years ago, this cave near the city of Sonora, Texas formed. It has been described as a world-class cave due to the abundance of crystal formations found here. One area of the cave appears so densely packed with a type of crystal formation known as helictites that it has been called the Snake Pit. Other formations throughout the cave may be called popcorn or bacon, referring to mineral nodes and layered flowstone. Considered a national natural landmark, the Caves of Sonora was opened for public tours in 1960 and was once known as Mayfield Cave for a good part of the 20th century. 11. Reed Flute Cave. One of the most spectacular instances of nature and art includes the Reed Flute Cave located in Guangxi, China. Natural limestone make up the walls of these caves, complete with colorful artificial lighting, a site that is said to be one of the most interesting attractions near the city of Guilin. The actual cave formed about 180 million years ago and has been attracting visitors for the past 1,200 years. The cave gets its name from the thriving reeds living within the cave, which get collected to produce flutes and other small wind instruments. 10. Ellison's Cave. Found in the Appalachian Plateaus of northwest Georgia, Ellison's Cave shows that it's its own natural landmark below ground. In the United States, it comes up as the 12th deepest cave in the form of an unobstructed pit known as Fantastic Pit, which you can see here. The cave spans 12 miles long and about 1,063 feet deep. This solution cave sits in the bedrock fault of the Pigeon Mountain. Open year-round, only the most experienced cavers should visit Ellison's Cave to avoid the many dangerous incidents that have happened in the past. 9. Scotian Caves. UNESCO designated it as a Natural and Cultural World Heritage Site in 1986, and for good reason. Aside from being amongst the largest underground canyons in the world, it also gets renowned for its majestic beauty, considered a national treasure. The Scotian Caves has over 6,200 meters in explored caves. This extensive natural landmark in Slovenia was once the location of a temple during the Bronze Age and well into the Iron Age, informing us that humans have long been gathering to this area. But now in the present, the caves get over 100,000 visitors per year. 8. Onondaga Cave State Park. The actual park was established in 1982, though it was discovered nearly a century earlier in 1886 by Charles Christopher. Onondaga Cave can be found in the state park of the same name, located near the Meramec River in Missouri. It has become a popular place for all sorts of activities that include hiking, camping, fishing, and touring the caves. It covers an area of 1,317.7 acres at an elevation of 732 feet or 223 meters. In a state often called the Cave State, Onondaga stands out as one of the most popular places for people to go. 7. Deer Cave. Now we're back to Malaysia to explore Deer Cave, located as a main attraction in the Gunung Mulu National Park. This show cave was surveyed in 1961 and has remained open to the public since 1984. Over 25,000 visitors arrive from all over the world to see Deer Cave, which features lots of waterfalls and vast ceiling heights, the highest reaching about 486 feet or 148 meters tall. 6. Antelope Canyon. You take one look at Antelope Canyon and you can hardly find rocks more interesting to look at than the formations found here. This slot canyon, located in Arizona, sits on Navajo land, formed by the erosion of sandstone. It includes several attractions, such as the Upper Antelope Canyon, called the Crack, and Antelope Canyon, which people also refer to as the Corkscrew. Floods occur somewhat frequently in the canyons, sometimes making it inaccessible for humans. Although it is more of a canyon, the narrow opening at the top makes it feel more like an enclosed area. 5. Veanaseal Cave. This enormous limestone cavern looks like an image out of a well-illustrated animated movie, but it's all totally real. Welcome to the picturesque pavilion of the Veanaseal Cave, considered one of the best attractions at the Khao Sam Roy Yacht National Park. It takes about 430 meters to reach the cave from the mountain. People also like to visit the nearby well made of baked clay bricks. The cave has a hole in its ceiling, letting in sunlight from above to make for one cool picture. 4. The Mendenhall Cave. Inside the famous Mendenhall Glacier in Juneau, Alaska, exists an ice cave that glows blue and lets the sunlight in. The glacier runs about 13.6 miles or 21.9 kilometers long within the Mendenhall Valley, not far from the town of Juneau. To get to the ice caves, You need to be willing to kayak there. After that, you still need to climb over the ice, but the views may just be worth it. However, the glacier has been in retreat since the 18th century, with many saying climate change will only increase the process. 3. Recentveld Cave. The name Recentveld translates from German to mean World of the Ice Giants. And if you ever visited this natural limestone and ice cave in Austria, you'd understand why. The cave, located 40 kilometers south of the city of Salzburg, sits inside a section of the Alps. Every year, over 200,000 people visit this natural landmark, which is also the largest ice cave in the entire world. 2. The Marble Caves. Down in South America, we come across the Marble Caves of Chile, also called the Cuevas de Marmol. These surreal caves formed over 6,000 years ago due to the waves crashing into the calcium carbonate. Ferries travel from Chile Chico to the Marble Caves so people can marvel at the aquatic tunnels. And depending on the time of year, you may not see the same turquoise blue walls since the color changes throughout the year. 1. Veanaseal Sea Cave. If you're looking for one of the most unique, Pinterest-friendly caves on the planet, look no further than the Veanaseal Sea Cave. On the south coast of Portugal, this cave lets sun shine right through the top of the cave, but also lets you get some nice beach views in the wide opening right on the water. It's probably one of the least scary, least daunting caves in the world.
What did you guys think of that video? Let us know in the comments below, and if you want to see more content like this, check out my channel, Wacky Universe.